Hey, this is Holly from hollylyn.com. Thanks for being here today. One of my YouTube friends asked me to talk about the difference between parenting a manifestor child and a generator child. Sorry, I didn't realize it would be that windy out here. And so I'm going to talk about that today. I am a projector mom, 4'6", splenic projector mama, and I have 4 kiddos. 3 are of the generator persuasion, and 1 is a manifestor. I have 2 manifesting generators. So, my firstborn is my manifestor child, and I will tell you that I actually, whether it was birth trauma or, well, it was either birth trauma or the manifestor thing. Probably more birth trauma, but I had a really hard time bonding with my firstborn, and I was not in the loop about post-traumatic, like PTSD or postpartum depression. I probably would have qualified for that for sure. But I definitely also perceived what Ra talks about when you have this manifestor child born. This, oh shit. And that was definitely the case with Noelle. And we talk about this kind of stuff all the time, so she's okay with me talking about it. I did not fully embrace parenting by human design until 2 to 3 years ago. So she, unfortunately, was 12 or 13-ish when I really started to see her as an individual and honor her. And so, unfortunately, there was a lot of conditioning that she had already picked up from me, and I wish that I could go back and do it over again. I certainly would have let her express herself and her opinions and her thoughts in the non-socially acceptable way it was for a child to do that. Let me just go like that. That's not super pretty looking. Okay, there you go. And so, the biggest deal actually with her was honoring her food choices and understanding her PHS, which I know is sort of advanced stuff, but in terms of like conditioning, oh my God, with all my kids, but especially with her, I wish that I had allowed her to make the food choices that she wanted to make. So we're actually still dealing with some of the consequences of that. She's 15 now, and I'm trying to now guide her in a way when she's willing to be guided. We always joked about, even before I knew about human design, that she was the oldest young person we knew. She has always been very adept at being with my dad and hanging out with older people. In fact, even though she's a 4'6", it doesn't help that I've yanked her in and out of schools, but she definitely does not necessarily enjoy friends her own age. She doesn't have a ton of friends her own age, actually. And the drama is somewhat juvenile for her. She never really went through the friend drama stuff. And that irritates her. We've thought about, she's 15 now, we're in virtual learning right now, and I mean, I could really pull her out of high school and just send her to college, and she would be totally fine. Like, really, she would. In fact, she'd probably thrive. We're still like on the fence about doing that, but if you are a if you have a manifestor child, don't be shy about introducing them to older people. And she has an open identity center, open or undefined. I think she's just undefined. I'm fully open. She's undefined. That's something that I watch, because that actually is an issue there. Not an issue, but this mama's. I'm on it. There have been some. We've had some discussions about finding love and knowing where you're going to go and all that kind of stuff. So, she kind of skipped the point of asking. She just went straight to informing. So when she was 12, 13, and I started talking about being a manifestor and all that, and I put her actually in a manifestor group. One of my friends runs a manifesting Facebook group, and so she gets on there and she reads that kind of stuff. She doesn't necessarily ask me about it or dialogue with me about it, and that's okay. So she's getting the information. So she doesn't necessarily ask. And I'm okay with her informing me of what she wants to do for the day. Her dad is not so much. So there's definitely some tension there. Yeah. So mostly I give her a ton of independence, and I wait for her to come to me, which is, obvious. As a projector, I wait. But even as a mom projector, sometimes yeah. Sometimes I insert myself where I am not invited. So, anyway, I do inform her back on what we're going to do for the day as well. And I allow her to make the choice on what she wants to do about it. So I inform her that the dishes need to be done. And I am not like, I'm not super mom in terms of like delegating out household stuff. In fact, because we live in such a small space, and like, I'm just not the cleany person. So anyway, there's not a lot of housework stuff. So anyway, I'll let her know there's dishes that need to be done. So you're going to have to do those before sometimes it's like eat dinner, or sometimes it's before you go to bed. And also, I allow her to be fully responsible for her clothing and her room, mostly. And she actually has been responsible for those things for quite a while. So, earlier I would say than her siblings. Of course, she's the oldest, but so I have also, as a parent, had to deal with the other kids and their somewhat jealousy, maybe not jealousy, but there's definitely a difference in the amount of work that my oldest is assigned as well. And that does create some tension. And I don't have an answer for it other than she is who she is and you are who you are, and everybody has their own parts to play in this family while we're together. So, event planning, she's cross of planning though. She does a lot of that. She makes lists of things. And I really kind of, I would almost say that she is more of a partner now rather than like a child, and she's 15. You know, not that she's not fully, but she knows what needs to get done, and she has some great insight on the family dynamics. And I appreciate that from her. So, anyway, that's a little bit about how I parent her. And I think I'll make another video because this is really long about how I parent my generator kiddos differently. All right. Talk to you later.